There are moments in life that split everything into before and after. Before you knew. And after you could never unknow. For me, that moment came at 2 in the morning, in my own bedroom, in the house I had lived in for 3 years. I was reaching behind my dresser to plug in my phone charger when my fingers touched something that should not have been there. Something small. Something plastic. Something with a tiny lens pointing directly at my bed. My entire body went cold. Not from the temperature. From the realization of what I was holding. Someone had been watching me. In my bedroom, for God knows how long. And when I found out who put it there, and why, I realized this was not just a violation of my privacy. This was a criminal conspiracy that went all the way to the top of my entire neighborhood. And by the time it was over, 4 people were in federal prison, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit was settled, and I was the reason an entire HOA organization was permanently banned from ever operating again in our state. I need to take you back 3 years before that night. Back to when my wife Sarah and I first moved into Maplewood Creek Estates. It was our dream neighborhood. Beautiful homes. Manicured lawns. A sparkling community pool. A clubhouse. Everything we had worked for. The HOA was called the Maplewood Creek Community Association, and at the time everything seemed perfectly normal. We paid our monthly dues of $350 without complaint. We followed every rule in the handbook. We kept our lawn perfectly trimmed. We painted our shutters the approved color. We were model homeowners. The HOA board was led by a man named Director Raymond Cole. Tall. Polished. Always wearing a pressed white shirt. Always smiling. At neighborhood events Raymond would shake everyone's hand and talk about community values and protecting property values and making Maplewood Creek the best neighborhood in the county. Everyone loved Raymond. Everyone trusted Raymond. I trusted Raymond. That was my first and most devastating mistake. It started with small things that I dismissed as coincidences. Raymond would mention things in casual conversation that he should not have known. Once at a block party he said, "Oh, I heard you and Sarah were thinking about repainting your kitchen." How did he know that? We had never told anyone. Another time he mentioned that he noticed I had been staying up very late recently. Working on a project? He said it with a smile. I laughed it off. Said yes, just a busy week. But something in my stomach felt wrong. Then one evening Sarah mentioned that she felt like our master bedroom felt different somehow. She could not explain it. Just an instinct. The kind of feeling you get when something in a room has been moved and put back almost perfectly but not quite. I told her she was imagining things. I wish I had listened to her. It was a Wednesday night. 1:47 in the morning. Sarah was asleep. I was lying in bed unable to sleep, scrolling on my phone when the battery died. I got up to get my charger from the nightstand, but I had left it plugged in on the other side of the room behind the dresser. I walked over in the dark and reached down behind the dresser feeling along the baseboard for the charger cable. And that is when my fingers felt it. A small device. Roughly the size of a large thumb. Wedged perfectly between the back of the dresser and the wall. Almost completely invisible. I pulled it out and turned on my phone flashlight. My hand started shaking before my brain even fully processed what I was looking at. A wireless micro camera. Black. With a tiny blinking green light indicating it was actively recording and transmitting. Live. Right now. Someone was watching my bedroom live at 1:47 in the morning. I sat down on the floor and I could not move for what felt like an hour. I did not wake Sarah. Not yet. I needed to think clearly, and I knew if I woke her she would panic, and I needed to be calm. I grabbed my phone and I started searching the device. Within 20 minutes I had identified it. It was a LS Mini Pro wireless surveillance camera. Retail price, $68. Range, up to 500 feet. Battery life, 72 hours. Meaning someone had to physically enter my home regularly to recharge it or replace it. Someone had a key to my house. Or knew how to get inside without one. I walked through every single room of my house that night. Bedroom. Bathroom. Living room. Kitchen. Home office. I found 4 more cameras. One behind the bathroom mirror. One inside a smoke detector in the hallway. One hidden inside a decorative plant in the living room. And one pointed directly at my home office desk where I work every single day. 5 cameras total. In my home. Recording my entire life. Every conversation. Every private moment. Everything. I sat in my kitchen at 4 in the morning and I made a decision that would change everything. I did not remove a single camera. I did not call the police yet. Instead I set a trap. I called in sick to work the next morning. I went to an electronics store and bought my own hidden camera, this one pointing directly at my front door and driveway. Then I went to a security store and bought a device that could detect the wireless frequency the cameras were transmitting on and trace it back to the receiving device. The receiver, the device that was actually watching the camera footage, was located somewhere within 500 feet of my house. That night I drove slowly around my neighborhood with the frequency detector. Past the Hendersons. Past the Garcias. Past the community clubhouse. And then the detector went absolutely crazy with signal strength right in front of one specific building. Raymond Cole's personal home office. Connected directly to the HOA clubhouse next door. I sat in my car in the dark and I thought about every smile. Every handshake. Every casual conversation where Raymond knew things he should not have known. And then I drove home and I called the FBI. What happened next went beyond anything I had imagined when I first found that camera behind my dresser. The FBI obtained a warrant and raided Raymond's home office and the HOA clubhouse simultaneously. What they found inside was not just footage from my home. Raymond had installed cameras in 11 different homes across Maplewood Creek Estates over a period of 4 years. 11 families. Completely unaware. But the cameras were not even the most disturbing discovery. On Raymond's private server the FBI found evidence that he had been using footage from homeowners' private lives to blackmail them. If a homeowner complained about HOA decisions, Raymond would send them an anonymous message with a clip from inside their home. A reminder that he was watching. That he could see everything. Several homeowners had paid Raymond tens of thousands of dollars in secret payments to keep footage private. The total amount of blackmail money collected, $1.3 million. From families in our own neighborhood. People who had trusted him. People who had shaken his hand at block parties and smiled back. Raymond Cole was arrested on 17 federal charges including illegal surveillance, extortion, blackmail, invasion of privacy, and wire fraud. 3 other HOA board members who knew about the scheme and helped install cameras in homes were arrested alongside him. The trial lasted 6 weeks. I testified. Sarah testified. 9 other homeowners testified. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. All 4 defendants were found guilty on every single charge. Raymond Cole was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. The other 3 board members received sentences between 8 and 14 years each. The Maplewood Creek Community Association was permanently dissolved and legally banned from reforming in any capacity in our state. A class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of all 11 affected families. The settlement, $4.7 million. Divided among families who had their privacy violated and their lives watched without their knowledge or consent. And that HOA clubhouse, the building where Raymond watched footage of families in their most private moments, it was purchased by the affected homeowners collectively and converted into a neighborhood community center. Where families now gather freely. Without fear. Without being watched. I want you to sit with something for a moment. Raymond Cole sat in a comfortable office and watched families in their bedrooms and bathrooms and private spaces for 4 years. He used that footage to terrify people into silence. He counted on people being too embarrassed or too scared to ever say a word. He nearly got away with it. If I had not reached behind that dresser at 1:47 in the morning to find a phone charger, he might still be doing it today. Here is what I need you to know. Trust your instincts. When something feels wrong in your home, investigate. You have the right to feel safe inside your own four walls. Nobody, no HOA president, no authority figure, nobody, has the right to violate that. If this story made you feel sick, if it made you angry, if it made you want to go check every room of your house right now, good. That feeling means you understand exactly what privacy means. Subscribe right now because I have 13 more stories in my folder. And I promise you, every single one of them will make you question everything you thought you knew about the people running your neighborhood. Leave a comment below. Did you ever feel like something was wrong in your home and you could not explain why?